Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mike from TI Calculator Programming, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to program with TI Basic. That's coming up right here, right now on TI Calculator Programming. Hey everyone, welcome to my second video in the TI Basic Calculator Programming series. Without further ado, let's get started. When you turn your calculator on, it'll take you to the home screen. If you hit Program and you have a TI-84 plus CE Python, it will take you to this screen right here. Choose TI Basic and hit Enter and it will take you straight to this screen. If you don't have a Python calculator, well then it'll automatically take you straight to this screen. Today we're going to be creating a new program, so scroll to New and hit Enter and it will ask you to name a program. Today we're going to name our program Part 2. The keystroke sequence for that is 8, math, multiplication sign, 4, hit alpha to turn off alpha lock, and the number 2 to type in 2. Hit enter to name your program and to start program line 1. We're going to go to program, scroll over to input output, scroll down to number 8, and then hit enter to display clear home. What this will do is it'll clear our home screen at the beginning of our program. I'm going to hit enter, and instead of using prompt like I did in my previous program, what we're going to do is we're going to use a slightly modified version of prompt. If you remember in our last video, when we used prompt, it would display A equals question mark. Basically what it's doing here is it's asking us to input a numerical value for A. However, if you want to enter in customized text, you can't use the prompt function. You'll have to use a different function. You can find this command by hitting Program and scrolling over to Input Output and then hitting Enter. And yes, that command is the input command. To enter in your customized text, hit second alpha for alpha lock, hit the plus sign to open quotations, and then enter value for A, colon. The keystroke sequence for that is alpha lock, sign, log, 4, sign, multiplication sign, 0, 6, math, right parentheses, 5, sign, 0, cosine, 7, multiplication sign, 0, math, period, and plus to close your quotation marks. After any input command, you put a comma and then enter in the variable that you want to store that number under. For today's video, I'm going to use the variable A. Then I'm going to hit enter and go to the control screen, which is found by hitting the button Program. Scroll over to Input Output and then scroll down to Display, hit Enter, and then enter in alpha math to display A. After that, we're going to hit Enter, go back to Program, scroll down to 8, which is pause, hit Enter again to display a new line, go back to Program, scroll to Input Output, scroll down to number 8 and hit Enter, which is clear home. What this program will do now is it'll clear the home screen at the beginning. It'll ask us to enter in a value for A, and then we're going to type in a number, hit Enter. It's going to store that number under A. Then it's going to display A, it's going to pause, waiting for us to hit Enter, and then it's going to clear the home screen at the very end. So if you hit second mode, which is quit, it'll take you to the home screen. Hitting Program on a TI-84 plus CE Python will take you to the programming screen. If you don't have a Python calculator, it'll take you straight to the execute screen. Scroll down to Part 2, hit Enter to display it on the home screen, then hit Enter again to run the program. As you can see, it asks us to enter a value for A, which is the customized text that we chose to display. I'm going to type in 15, then hit Enter. It'll display the number 15, and then as you can see from the silver circle beside the battery status, it is currently waiting for us to hit the Enter. As soon as you hit enter, it's going to clear the home screen and tell you that the program is done. Sometimes, however, we don't just want to enter in one variable. We want to enter in two variables. So, to modify our program, we're going to hit the program button and hit TI Basic. If you don't have a Python calculator, it'll take you straight to this screen. We're going to go to Edit and then scroll down to Part 2, hit Enter to start editing your program. Now, if I want to enter in a second variable, say B, I'm going to scroll down to Display, hit second delete for insert, and then hit enter to insert a new line. I'm going to go back to program, scroll to input output, hit enter to display input on program line 3, and then I'm going to type in the same thing that I did for program line 2, except this time I'm going to type in value for B. I'm going to type in a comma and then state the variable that I'm going to store that number under, which for this case is B. In order for the calculator to display B, I'm going to scroll down to pause, hit second delete and enter to display a new line. I'm going to go to the input output screen, which is program and then right cursor. I'm going to hit display, and as you can see, it enters display in program line 5. I'm going to tell it which variable to display, which in this case it's going to display variable B. I'm going to hit second quit to go back to the home screen. Then I'm going to hit program and then execute program part 2. Hit enter to display the program on the home screen, then hit enter again to run the program. As you see, it asks us to enter in a value for A. I'm going to type in 15, hit enter. It now asks us to enter in a value for B. I'm going to type in 18 and then hit enter. As you can see, it displays 15 and 18. Sometimes, however, what we want it to do is tell us which variable is which. Now, of course, we already know which one's which since we can see that we entered in a value for A, which is 15, and the value for B is 18. However, in more complex programs where you have to repeatedly clear the home screen, you can get very lost in which variable is which. So we're going to hit enter and it's going to clear the home screen and show us that our program is done. To edit our program, we're going to go hit program on the calculator pad, and then we're going to go to the execute screen. Scroll over to edit, scroll down to part 2, and then hit enter. Now I'm going to use a different command other than the display. So I'm going to scroll down to display and clear both display A and display B lines right here. Then I'm going to go up to the line after the input B command. I'm going to go to program, I'm going to scroll to input output and then scroll down to output. I'm going to hit enter. So before we type in anything after an output command, we have to fully understand what the output command does. To understand that, we're going to have to understand how your home screen is divided. Since the output command lets you display any text or any number at any location on your home screen, we need to know that your home screen is split up into 26 columns. Now this only applies to TI-84 Plus CE calculators. If you have a TI-84 Plus calculator, your home screen only has 10 columns. As you can see, there is only one character per column. As you can see, there's only one character from left to right per column. You cannot display more than one character per column. Also, your home screen is divided into 10 rows. This only applies if you have a TI-84 Plus CE. If you have a TI-84 Plus, your home screen only has 8 rows. You can only display one line per row. As such, we can understand that if we want to display something in the middle of the screen, we're going to have to output something at row 5. However, since we have two output statements to do, one for A and one for B, we're going to have to display one above or one after the midpoint mark on a home screen. So I've decided to display A equals above the midpoint mark. So I'm going to type in the row column, which is row 4. Then I'm going to follow that by a comma, which is followed by the column number, which is 1. What this does is it starts at the very left hand side on row 4, and then we're going to put a comma, and then to type in any text we're going to open quotation marks, which is alpha plus. I'm going to type in A, which is alpha math, and then the equation sign, which is second math, opens the test screen, and then hit enter for equal. I'm going to close the quotation marks and then close parentheses to end our output command. What this now does is that row 4, column 1, it'll start displaying A equals. As I told you before, you can only display one character per column per row. So what this essentially does is that at 4, 1, it'll display A. At row 4, column 2, it'll display the equal sign. So if we're going to put in the numeric value that is stored as A, what we're going to have to do is start at column 3 so it doesn't override our equal sign. So I'm going to go to the next line, hit program, scroll to input output, scroll down to output, and then hit enter to put in a new output command. Since we're doing the same row, we're going to type in 4, 3, comma. What this does is that row 4, column 3, it's going to output A. Now, as you can notice, I did not put quotation marks around the A. The reason for this is anytime we put quotation marks around something, it will display it as text. What is written here is that it will display the number that is stored as A. So if you do not want it to display A, instead you want to display the number stored as A, just put A without any quotation marks and close your parentheses. Since we still have to do 2 more output commands for B, I'm going to scroll down to pause and hit second delete for insert, hit enter twice to display 2 new program lines. I'm going to hit program and then scroll to input output and then hit output, hit enter to display output on the program editor. So, as you can see, it'll display the letter B at 5, 1, the equal sign at 5, 2, and then at 5, 3, we're going to need to output the number for B. As you can see, I've already put in that output command. Now, what I'm going to do is I want it to clear the home screen after inputting my variables and then before outputting what each variable equals. To do that, I'm going to scroll up to the first output command, hit second insert, and then hit enter to display a new line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to program, go to input output, and then scroll down to clear home, and then hit enter to display clear home on the program editor. Now, since we're done with the program, we're going to hit second quit to go back to the home screen. I'm going to hit program again, and then if you have a Python calculator, it'll tell you to choose between basic and Python. We're going to use basic since that's what our calculator coding is in. And then we're going to scroll down to part 2, hit enter. As you can see, it pastes it in line with our home screen. And then we're going to hit enter again to run our program. For A, I'm going to put in 15 and then hit enter. I'm going to type in the number 35 for B and then hit enter again. As you can see, it clears the home screen. It displays A equals at the 4th row, column 1. It displays the value which is stored as A starting at column 3 in row 4. It does exactly the same thing with B, except it does it in row 5. Hitting enter again will clear the home screen and would display done, which tells us that our program is now complete. This brings us to the end of our tutorial. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification button to get notifications on every single video that we post here. And as always, if you have any questions about programming or if you have any questions concerning this video, please put them in the comment section below and I will try to respond to you. And as always, I'm Mike from TI Calculator Programming, and I'll see you next time.